Hey everybody, Jesse here from Zumbro Home Inspection real quick. A lot of times in Tennessee you'll see at your electric meter base, especially if you're underground service, that you'll have a box underneath it, usually with a single 200 amp breaker in there. What that usually is sometimes just an outside disconnect, but typically what that means is the distribution panel inside the home is greater than, I'm not going to quote it because all kinds of jurisdictions are different, but typically greater than 6 feet, meaning from where the meter runs into the house, where the main panel is in the house is further than 6 feet away. So typically, or sometimes 3 feet or less. So, but typically when that condition happens by code and for safety, what they'll do is put a local disconnect on the exterior. But what happens is actually this disconnect turns into the main panel. So on a home that's set up like this exterior just single 200 amp breaker is actually the main panel for the whole house. You can tell it's the main because it's on 200 amp. You can see right there for the grounding system and the neutral system. For the neutral, it's bonded together on the same bar, which that can only happen at the main panel. So even though this panel only has one breaker in it, it constitutes the main. I'm going to merge another video together into this one when I go into this house and show you what I mean, how the inside distribution panel, which looks like the main panel, is actually a sub panel. But it's very common here in Tennessee, but it's also important to make sure they're wired correctly, because in the sub panel on the interior of the home, it's really important for the grounds and the neutrals to be isolated. It shouldn't be like this panel. They shouldn't bond together, and that way that the ground, there's always a parallel path to make it all the way back out here for safety to the ground outside. So you can only bond in the main panel. This is actually the main panel for the house. And then the big distribution panel with all those breakers in this home is actually going to be a sub panel, even though it looks big and it has another 200 amp breaker. It's the sub. So I'm going to actually merge another video right onto the end of this one. It's going to keep going and explain the rest. All right, this is Jesse from Zumbro Home Inspection. It's really important for for a house to be wired properly, obviously, but for this type of system that we see so common around here, for the sub panel in the home to be wired properly for safety. Oh my gosh. All right, a tree just fell. All right, I'll let you go. Have a good day. Jesse Zumbro here from Zumbro Home Inspection. I'm just at a house out here in Cheatham County. I just wanted to go over some things home inspectors look for when they're doing the electrical portion of the inspection. I've already removed the cover. That's called the dead front cover. That's because the bus bar and everything in here, it doesn't have any overcurrent protection, so if it shocked you, it'd probably kill you, or it would continue to shock you until the transformer blew or something like that, because all these breakers protect the line circuits, not the panel. Maybe the 200, you'd be lucky enough it trips, but just don't touch anything here if you don't know what you're doing. Anyways, I wanted to go over, this is actually a great panel, so I wanted to go over what right looks like. This panel does have a 200 amp main, but actually this panel is actually a sub panel. A lot of times in Tennessee, you'll see the electric meter all the way on one side of the house and the panel on the other. When they do that, there'll be a disconnect at the main meter right underneath it, usually just a single 200 amp disconnect. That's considered actually the main panel. And then they'll run the service line through the crawl space or in the slab to wherever they're going to put the electrical panel in. The big difference between a distribution panel and a main panel is on the distribution panel or a sub panel, such as this one, is the grounds. That's going to be all your bare copper, and sometimes your braided aluminum for your bigger appliances. But they have to be isolated. They can't be bonded to your neutrals on your neutral bars. Great electricians, what they'll do is they'll leave that screw right there. That's called the bonding screw. They'll leave that screw detached and leave it in the bottom, showing that the ground system is grounding out the box, is grounding out the system, and it's running out to the main panel, but it's not ever bonded to the white. That's going to be all your neutrals. This panel's clean. They used all the proper bushings for all the penetrations. They've actually went one step above and actually labeled, when you take the panel face off, the labels are on there. But when you're trying to look and see what circuit goes to what, it gets confusing. You got to keep looking back and forth. Well, they were nice enough. They went ahead and labeled everything within the panel what it is. There's oxidizing anti-corrosive paste they added. The panel's free of debris. The proper AFCIs are going to be on the bedrooms, which is still only the requirement in Tennessee. I know some states requires a lot more than just the bedrooms. The water heater has a lockout, just in case you want to lock the water heater out, like if you're going to turn the power off to or the water off to the house, you want your hot water heater off. But this panel is something, honestly, home inspectors don't see much. It's clean, it's properly wired, they use proper paste, they use proper, all the penetration of proper bushings. This is a sub panel, the neutrals are all properly isolated. The grounds, the grounds are all properly isolated. The neutrals are all properly installed. The AFCI breaker neutral legs all properly installed. And they left the bonding screw behind just to prove that the neutrals and the grounds are separated. That's all I have for now. Home inspector's also going to we're going to go through. We're going to make sure all of the branch wire circuits are compatible with whatever breaker they're set on, depending on gauge. Every single wire will need a different gauge. You know, for 15 amp, you're going to want 14 gauge wire minimum. Then it goes up from there. Then we're going to make sure the service entrance is correct. I know it has a big Tennessee State approved sticker on there. Nothing against those inspectors, but well, either A, they might have missed something, or B, the homeowner came in and did a bunch of work after it was approved, and then there's just all kinds of things wrong. But this is what right looks like, which is rare, but this is one of the things that a home inspector will get into with every home that they inspect, providing we can get access to the panel. Sometimes it's blocked. But what's behind this panel face is really what could be dangerous for the house, and this is why you hire a home inspector. All right, this is Jesse from Zumbro Home Inspection. If you have any questions, you can give me a call at 931-278-5400, 931-278-5400. Have a great day.